For those of you that haven't heard, it is with great sorrow that I must inform you that the great Dr. Martin Vreeland, who was scheduled to speak with us today, will not be joining us. He died last night, allegedly, from a heart attack. And while there are those who will rejoice in his passing, banksters, criminal politicians, those of us who believe in free markets, those of us who believe in sound money, those of us who believe in liberty, must mourn his passing today. But we are here because we are inspired by his words, by his message, by his cause, and we are here to carry that on today, to carry on his legacy. And while those of us self-charged with the duty of carrying on his legacy stand here together today, it is important to note that the passing of this great man, this hero of the European recovery, this man who has given hope to countless millions throughout the world, has not gone without global acknowledgement. And while we are here today as Americans to reject their war debt, there are millions joining us by live stream right now, and from the last count on Facebook, there are vigils, celebrations, and protests being held in at least 85 cities and at least 40 countries throughout the world in solidarity and in honor of Dr. Martin Vreeland. And Dr. Vreeland, who was so keen on asking the difficult questions of the most important issues of our time in a way that cut through the propaganda. If he were here today, I imagine that he would have a few questions for America. Why is it that the more the government helps the economy, the more it suffers? Why is it that when the government tells us they will have jobs for everyone, that unemployment keeps going up? Why is it that they think they can print money and print us into prosperity? And why is it illegal to own gold? And I can only presume that if Dr. Vreeland were here today, he might also have to ask, if only out of sheer frustration, in light of the European recovery, in light of all we see now of economic history, in light of his own genius illuminating work, why do so many millions of Americans fail to see that every government intervention in the market is a form of exploitation? And I would hope that I would get to tell him, but Dr. Vreeland, I must reject the premise of your question. Simply look around you. People are waking up like never before. People are realizing what is happening like never before. People are reading Dr. Vreeland's work. People are realizing the exploitation that this fiat currency represents. People are standing up and rising up like never before. And when they come after us with the war debt and they tell us that it's our responsibility to pay for their crimes, we are rising up and saying to them like never before, it's not my debt. And I imagine if Dr. Vreeland were here, he'd also want to know, what have you learned? What are you going to do about it? Well, we have learned that every fiat currency is a ripoff. We have learned that to preserve our own wealth, we must buy real assets and own and use real money in the form of gold and silver. And we know that when they come after us, we are going to tell them, when they want us to pay for their mistakes, when they want us to take responsibility for all of their unconstitutional crap, we have learned to tell them, it's not my debt. Now, if I may take a moment to introduce myself as a humble, poor substitute for the great Dr. Vreeland. My name is Adam Kokesh, and the government would have you believe that I served this country in Iraq, but you know as well as I that the only people we were serving were the criminal banksters and the politicians and the war profiteers that are trying to rip you off in the name of the war debt. We swore an oath to the Constitution of the United States of America to defend it against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and we found out the hard way that the greatest enemies of the Constitution are not to be found in the sands of some far-off land, but rather right here at home. And they need you to believe. They need you to buy the propaganda. They need you to really believe that I'm a hero for participating in their crap war. They need you to believe that the troops were there defending your freedom. But you know the truth. If the troops defended freedom, they'd attack the government. That's right. So if Dr. Martin Vreeland were here today, he might have a couple of questions for each of you. You see these FEMA officers right here? You think they're here to protect you? You think they're here to keep you safe? You think the police state has anything about looking out for your freedom? When they come after you and they tell you, you need to pay for this police state, what are you going to tell them? It's not my debt. And when they tell you that for graduating high school in America, for the privilege of going through their propaganda centers, that you never had a chance to vote on any of this, it doesn't matter, you owe millions as your share, what are you going to tell them? It's not my debt. And when they come after you and tell you, we need just a little bit more money, if we kill just a few more people, you'll finally be safe, but we gotta pay for the war debt. We gotta get rid of the war debt so we can start another war. What are you gonna tell them? It's not my debt. And when they tell you that if you're not gonna pay your taxes, it could only possibly be because you hate America. And if they tell you that if you don't support the police state and the bureaucracy and the past wars and the next wars and the troops overseas, and if they tell you that if you don't do exactly what they say, you're just unpatriotic, it must be because you hate America. And when they tell you that you're gonna go to a FEMA jail for owning gold and silver, and they tell you after all of that, but it's for the children. But it's for your safety. But this is how we're going to restore the economy. What are you going to tell them? It's not my debt. 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 It's not my debt! It's not my debt! Someone is saying something on a